Hey guys, Sith Lord 310 here, also known as Mario Hernandez, and we're here with War of the Stars, Episode 5. We're missing most of the panel today because most of them were captured by Imperials. So now we are on Yavin 4, hiding from the Empire, and let me introduce to you guys the panel. First of all, Christopher.
Oshuda.
Christina.
Good.
Okay, guys, so we're here to talk to you guys about Star Wars, everything in the world of Star Wars. The first thing, the biggest thing that's in the world of Star Wars this week, Battlefront 2. The trailer premiered a couple days ago. So let me ask Chris, first off, what did you think of the Battlefront 2 trailer?
I think it looks as awesome as any other video game trailer I ever see. Epic, awesome, cool. Wait till the game to actually judge.
Christina?
This is going to be one of the rare times I fully agree with Chris. It does. I mean, they make the game trailer. It's the same thing as a lot of movies, like movie trailers. They make it. They throw all the best parts. They amp it up so you're like, oh my god, I have to go buy this game. I have to run out right now and buy this game. As soon as it comes out, I'm going to get it. And then it falls flat on its face when it. And I mean, I so hope it doesn't happen. It's like when Battlefront came out. It was hyped up. It looked amazing, and it wasn't even a campaign. It was just pretty much, it has some tutorials and multiplayer.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, this trailer does look amazing. The way it starts off with the First Order Stormtroopers, and then the original Stormtroopers, and the clone troopers. It's pretty cool looking trailer. I love the aesthetics of it, and I didn't actually think of this. How amazing the original Battlefront looked, and then how much this one looks better. Like I didn't think that was possible for it to actually improve on its graphics over 2 years, but in technology years, that's a long time.
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Battlefront, for as rushed as the original Battlefront was, the textures and the coloring and the lighting of every map was absolutely spectacular. But like you said, I think they started working on Battlefront 2 almost as soon as Battlefront 1 was released. So it's really had 2 years to develop. And we're reaching the end of this generation's game consoles lifespans with the Xbox One X, which I hate that name, by the way, getting ready to come out. And I'm sure Sony's working on PS5, we're reaching the end of the lifespans of the Xbox One and the PS4. So we're going to start seeing the games that really push the boundaries of the extent of what those consoles can do. And Battlefront will probably be one of those games graphically that really show what the system was capable of doing for the past 5 years it's been out.
Well, just to make a small correction, the Xbox One X, or Project Scorpio, as people are still wanting to call it over that, is still an Xbox One. It still will play all the Xbox One titles. It's just pretty much an Xbox One S on steroids. And the new PlayStation they're announcing is still going to be a PS4. It's just going to be, once again, they're pretty much building this to combat Scorpio. So the new gen consoles have not made an appearance yet. They're just kind of, some reason they're putting these things on like they're turning these things into like Arnold Schwarzenegger's off consoles for some reason.
Well, with Xbox, and I don't want to deviate from Star Wars here, but with Xbox, I could see it, especially now that you bring it up, because I haven't been watching E3. I've mostly been catching bits and pieces here or there. But with Xbox, I'm not really surprised because, again, look at how long of a lifespan the 360 had. I mean, the 360 was around when PS2 was first around. You know what I mean? And the Nintendo GameCube. It saw the rise and fall of the GameCube, the fall of PS2, the rise and fall of PS3, the birth of PS4, really, before the Xbox One really came out. So, I mean, Microsoft believes in longevity in their system, so with them it's not really surprising. The biggest surprise is Sony. It's holding restraint on not saying, okay, we're done with this system, let's move on to the next.
Well, they just released it. Don't forget, they just released the Pro system, and that's why they want to get that system to embed itself in a little bit better first.
Well, the biggest thing is they want to get VR off the ground. I imagine VR is probably going to have a big influence on the next gen systems.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
But now's the time to test it on the last gens. But anyway, sorry, we're taking over Mario. This is Mario's show today. Mario, Star Wars.
Back to Battlefront. Okay, so the biggest thing that all the fans are excited about is cross-era gameplay, where you can play with Rey and you can fight against, Darth Vader, or you can fight with Yoda against Kylo Ren, or you can mix. We're not sure if we can mix, like the armies with, maybe Grand Republic against Stormtroopers. I doubt they would do that. But Christina, what do you think about the cross-era gameplay coming in Battlefront 2?
That's I'm kind of go both ways on that. One, yeah, it'll be awesome because we'll be able to, once again, a lot of those old arguments, who would win in a fight, which are starting to come up again. Now it's going to be to a point where, oh yeah, let's find out. Let's go load up Battlefront 2. Let's see who would win. Let's see if Yoda or, ancient Luke Skywalker would win. Which I still think Yoda would totally own. But at the same time, it kind of takes away the whole spirit of the game. Like, part of Battlefront, for me, to play the original Battlefront, was the immersion. When you load it up, like, for example, like the Hoth battle, where even that irked me because you could either fly, unless you leveled up, you either could fly an A-Wing or an X-Wing. Neither of those fighters were in the Hoth battle because it was too cold for them to fly. I'm sorry, my tech knowledge is coming out. I apologize. But those ships could not adapt and fly for a long period of time in that frigid of a condition. So why couldn't they? So it's even that I had an issue with. I'm really stickler when it comes to like games where you have full immersion. It's got to be accurate, and to have, say, like an Old Republic clone army battling against the First Order. It's. I mean, yeah, people want it, which is great. It could be interesting, but at the same time, it's not immersion when you do that.
Yeah, but what would you think if they had it in a way where there's only certain game modes or certain, the entire game isn't continuity-less. There's only certain game modes where you can mix the characters and mix the eras. What would you think of that?
Like a Royal Rumble, almost. It'd be interesting. Like I said, it would kind of bother me still, because I don't know. Like I said, I'm really weird about that. But at the same time, the major thing is that, like I said, the continuity is the most important thing, and that's something they need to keep with the game.
Well, as far as I understand it, and maybe again, I haven't been paying attention to E3 as well as everybody else, but as far as I understand, the campaign mode is supposed to keep with the continuity and canon. Which will make it the first Star Wars game of the new canon to actually be canon. But the multiplayer, I kind of agree with Christina to this extent. Either give me one of two things. Either a game mode that allows for like the Royal Rumble and the interconnection of the two, but not make the whole game all interconnection as far as multiplayer is concerned. Or give me something in the multiplayer that allows me to go between the eras. That if I choose to fight for the Grand Army of the Republic as a clone trooper, I'm not going to face the Galactic Empire. I'm going to face the Separatist droids. Or if I'm choosing to be a Resistance fighter, I'm going to face the First Order. I'm not going to face, again, the Confederacy of Independent Systems. I think if they at least give you that option to where either you can either just have one game mode or one set of game modes that allow you to interconnect all the timelines, or if they give you a game mode that allow you to separate from the interconnected timelines, I think that's the way to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, that's up things that have an X-Wing flying in a boo. You don't want to mix it up too much to the point where it confuses, people, and people are just like, that didn't happen in the movies. You still want to have some realism from the movies in there. But I'm speaking again on the cross-era gameplay thing. The biggest complaint for the original Battlefront was the lack of content with the base game. It seemed that they had the entire game, then they split up into DLC just to make you pay more. So it got announced that there's going to be no season pass for this game, and there is going to be one, but it's going to be free, completely free to all players. The only like type of charging besides the original game is going to be microtransactions in the game.
I still don't.
What do you
I
guys think
still
about
don't
that?
agree with the micro. I still don't agree with the microtransactions because it's like, okay, I understand that what they're saying is that you could buy the coins or the credits to be able to get the stuff, or you could just work your way through the game and earn the credits to buy the stuff anyway. Well, that's all fine and good. So that means everybody can get it. But the problem is me with a full paycheck in my pocket and not a lot of bills, I can go buy the top of the line crap, and be, honing everybody in the lobbies because they don't want to spend the money and they're sitting there actually trying to grind for it like a normal actual player is. It's a play to win. Call it whatever it is. It's a play to win system. I don't agree with it. Everything should be completely free, or everything should be a paid DLC. Don't make it one or the other. You're not appeasing anybody. All you're doing is giving the cheaters a chance to cheat legally.
Christina?
I dislike microtransactions immensely because it does levy an unfair advantage. Like, once again, like Chris said, it's the financial, somebody who may have who actually has like a nice expendable income after they pay all their bills and everything, like, oh, well, I have like $2,000, let me go spend $100 and get all these credits and I can go buy all this new gear. Meanwhile, you got poor Joe Schmo who's, barely surviving, and he managed to scrape up enough money to buy the game. He's going to get wrecked because he can't afford to drop even $20 on the microtransactions to try to help get his equipment up. So microtransactions bother me immensely. Just like pay for DLCs, which I'm very happy they're not doing, they bother me too, because it's, okay, I'm going to go out and buy a game. I'm going to go spend $80 or $60 on a game. In reality, that game, but this is the first time I remember even dealing with this was Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 was, oh yeah, here's this game, but you have like 12 DLCs at like $20 a piece you got to buy now by the time the game was done. So by the time you're done buying all these DLCs, you could be spending, and back then it didn't have season passes like that, where you spend $60, you get a season pass, and even that's ridiculous if you think about it. I spent $60 on a game. Why should I spend another $60 to get the game completed?
And unfortunately, just to play off of her real quick before you answer your own question, Mario, with the map packs and stuff of that nature that you buy for games like this, it brings me back to thinking of things like Call of Duty. And you can go on your Xbox right now, pop in the oldest Call of Duty you got. Doesn't matter which one, the oldest one that has DLC packs for it. Go look at the prices of those DLC map packs. You probably bought the Call of Duty game for $2 used from GameStop, but it's still $15 per map pack. They do not drop in price. So if you ever want those system, those extra maps, those extra guns, whatever the case may be, they're ripping you off left and right, even on games that have been out for like 10 years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not really to a point of just Battlefront or EA. It's just, the whole game, the way of, the age of gaming that we're in now. That's every game has been like that recently. But going back, on a positive note, it's a good feeling to know that they're going to give us the free DLC. And they said it started in December. We're going to get the first season, is what they're calling them, with The Last Jedi. We're going to get a new map, and then new vehicles, new weapons, and we're going to get Finn and Captain Phasma as playable characters, which is
correct me if I'm wrong. The map or world that is supposed to be is that white salt plain planet that we see in the trailer, correct?
Yes, something with a C. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. C8 or something like that.
I don't remember the name of it, but it's the white plains with the red mist that comes up from behind the ships in the movie trailer.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
So then, speaking on this, the seasons or the free DLC, what do you guys hope to see eventually in the DLC? Maybe characters or planets?
I'll
start off.
I would like to see some of the planets they really don't explore in any of the series. Like the planets we know are there, like Celustrian, Ryloth, planets like that, planets that we've never been able to explore or be able to experience. It would be nice, Dathomir, actually experience Dathomir, experience, trying to think of some others, Dantooine, like places like that, be able to, maybe play that out. It would be interesting.
I kind of the same thing in the sense that like I don't care about the characters so much like the heroes. I mean, whatever they give me, I'll be fine with. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to want to play Luke Skywalker or play Darth Vader anyway. But the worlds, I think I would want to explore more like some of the worlds that you didn't really explore as much in the movies. I wouldn't mind like the Squadron Fighter game system flying through, not over, but through the canyons of Coruscant. I wouldn't mind taking a look at give me a map pack of Octo 2.
Give me a map pack. Give me a Rogue One map pack. That'd be interesting as well. To actually relive that final battle.
Battlefront 1 did give us Scarif.
Yeah,
like we could definitely. Why not Jeddah? That'd be a cool place to check out. Although I'm kind of getting tired of seeing sand planets. I'm starting to get that Anakin complex. I don't like sand. You got Tatooine. You got Jakku. You got Jeddah. It's like enough with the desert planets. Can we move on?
I mean, yeah, it's one of the planets that I want to see more of the prequel planets that we just saw in passing during Order 66, like Felucia. That planet has always interested me. Mustafar, I would love to see that with the engine of this, this gaming generation. I think that would look amazing. And then, Coruscant again. I want to see that. I want to see like a war-torn Coruscant, like they mentioned in the books and in the comics. That Coruscant was destroyed by the war. I want to see how it looks after the Civil War.
Well, if you want to see prequel map packs, would you be excited or pissed off if they went into the Gungan city?
On the water one?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it as much, actually. Just because I think it would look pretty cool, and it would be... I mean, it looks amazing, and the whole, atmosphere of that, it looks cool. Would I want to play as a Gungan? That's a different story.
Well, no, I'm not saying bring in the Gungan army, but take place in their city. I think it would be cool if maybe you could, like, especially if you're a hero, say like Darth Vader or the Emperor, and you could like force push somebody out of the actual force, the force field bubble that keeps oxygen in the city. I think that would be pretty neat.
Oh yeah. So speaking of Battlefront 2, keeping it on topic. So one of the other things that got announced is, the biggest thing is the campaign. We're finally getting a single player campaign that's canon, and that's going to span through pretty much all the movies, starting from very early in the prequels and ending off what we think is towards The Last Jedi, or right before The Force Awakens. So what do you guys think about that, of this, Imperial side campaign?
You want to answer first, Christina?
You can go ahead. You already started talking.
This is what excites me the most about Battlefront 2. Again, the multiplayer world, I mean, you play one multiplayer game, you play them all. That includes Star Wars. As much as I liked Battlefront, it starts getting repetitive after you've played all the game modes. But the campaign, first off, I'm a canon junkie, so anything that ties into canon, I'm gonna attack this thing like a fat kid about to eat cake, because I'm gonna want to know the lore. I'm gonna want to know the story. I'm hoping it's a great story. It looks like it could be. I mean, they're basing a book off of it. What was it? Battlefront Firestorm?
Inferno Squadron. Yeah.
Inferno Squadron. Thank you. So I mean, I'm canon hungry. I'm going to steal Brian's position here for a second. I'm canon hungry. Give me canon, and that makes me extra excited about playing the single player campaign. Is that not only am I playing a single player campaign where I feel like I'm accomplishing something in the game, but I'm also getting rewarded with actual canon that ties into this universe that I love.
Christina?
Yeah, I once again have to agree with Chris, and yeah, I think we have to check something because I've agreed with him a couple times tonight. um, that's the one part I am highly excited about. I mean, myself, I'm not as much a multiplayer gamer. I'm more of a single player gamer. Always have been. I've even playing MMOs. I'll run MMOs. I love MMOs, but I don't like PvP. I'd rather just run a mission with a bunch of people and do it that way. Then use cooperative effort as opposed to getting shot and teabagged. I mean, that's just not fun for me. Meanwhile, I play Destiny, right? Go figure.
I was keeping quiet the whole time.
Yeah, I play Destiny, so go figure that one out. Destiny's, I don't know, but we're not talking about that. But no, I mean, but yeah, once again, and that fact it's canon is just ultra exciting. In fact, this week when I get paid, I am putting down my down payment on the game, so I have my reservation in place for it, which... That's why I was asking you earlier what console are you playing on, so I actually know which one to reserve it for, considering that I have 3 options in front of me which way I could go.
Well, I still don't own a PS4, so if you want me to play, it's going to be Xbox One. I know Mario's got a PS4. I don't know if he's got an Xbox One.
Oh no, I'm strictly PS4.
You're going to have to get it for both, Christina.
Or you can just get a PS4.
No. It's cheaper for you to buy the game than me to buy a PS4.
Or you could buy me the game.
Besides, again, the only reason I would buy a PS4 is Final Fantasy VII, and this isn't War of the Fantasy. This is War of the Stars. We're on Star Wars. And I can get Star Wars on Xbox, so I'm good.
Honestly, the only reason why I bought the PS4 I did... Hold on. I gotta unplug this real quick because it's off anyway. This is why I bought this unit, okay? And it is appropriate. Because it is the Vader edition. That's the only reason I actually decided. Like, you know something? Yeah, I will buy this. It's because it was. If they couldn't get me this, or honestly the Destiny edition, I wasn't getting it.
Yeah, but I got the Rogue One Cup, so... And it costs less money than the PS4. Again, I can't justify the expenditure of a PS4. I mean, I know I got friends on PS4 that I can play with and all that, but every game I want on PS4, I have on Xbox One.
But there's a lot of good exclusive games on PS4 too. I will say that, like the Uncharted series, Uncharted.
No, yeah.
It's garbage. I played them on PS3 and were bored with them.
How about here's one. If you you can't say anything about this, The Last of Us.
Wasn't impressed by that either. Really wasn't. I will admit, though, I don't know what system it's going to be on. I did see a preview from E3 called From Us or something like that. You're a biker guy in like this post-apocalyptic world or something. And that one looks interesting. I think that may be a PlayStation game. That one looked kind of interesting. That one caught my interest. I shared it on Facebook. But beyond, I haven't seen an exclusive PlayStation game that I absolutely adored since the PS2.
Oh, what about Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, nothing about it, so I hold no opinion.
Look up a trailer and get back to me on that one, because that game looks absolutely... That's one I got to pick up yet. It's a new release, and it's incredible. It just looks amazing.
I can't judge your opinion on that. You love Destiny, and Destiny bores me. Let's be fair. I'm not saying that
I'm just going to say this for the record. This comes from somebody who plays Call of Duty.
I play it to play with my oldest kid on record. I mostly play Fallout, Skyrim. I'm an RPGer. Back in the day, again, with the PS2 and everything else, I was playing the Final Fantasies and Resident Evils. I didn't want to be online. I didn't care, you know?
Oh, fun-filled fact for you real quick before we get back on track. You talked about Skyrim, right? You know Steam?
Uh-huh.
You know, the infamous PC service? Well, anyone who had Skyrim on Steam got a free upgrade to the new HD remastered edition.
Yeah.
Which was kind of awesome. So now I get to play through it again and actually have good graphics. See how many townspeople I can piss off by kicking a chicken.
Well, I picked up the Game of the Year remastered for the Xbox One. It pretty much has all the same things as Steam was offering for free anyway. So, I mean, I'm seeing the next gen graphics on it anyway. Anyway, back to Star Wars.
Kick a chicken.
It's so hard not to get off track when we're talking games.
Yeah, right? Because there's so many good games out there. I mean, Star Wars games, I've played a lot. I've probably played close to every single one that's ever come out. I'm not even lying.
But the thing is like Star Wars games to me are like pizza. Even when they're bad, it's still pizza.
Except for Episode 1 Phantom Menace game. That was just unbearable.
I liked that. I didn't mind that. I mean, God, I liked not Republic Commando, the Clone Wars game that it came out like for the Wii and the 360.
I have that on PC.
Where they almost had it like the Baldur's Gate type game control, or Marvel superhero game control, or Marvel Ultimate Alliance game control. That game engine. That's the word I was looking for. Even those were pretty decent for what they were. I mean, but with those types of games, I didn't take them seriously. The games I took. Honestly, the only game I absolutely despise Star Wars wise, and I know we're going to go into the best of the worst of, but the only one that really I despise, and it's not necessarily because it was like such a horrible game. Its gameplay was fine. I thought I have a bias against the character. Actually, both characters, and I thought the story was weak, and that's Star Wars Bounty Hunter on the GameCube. That was honestly, that was probably to me the weakest Star Wars game that's ever been created.
But was it
and
the
I know
worst?
People are going to argue against me, and I know people are going to argue against me and say, "Oh, that game was great," but understand again, I thought the storyline was weak. And I don't care about either of the Fets. I think they're both overrated characters, although I give more credit to Jango than Bulba. Sorry.
What do you think Matt's going to say when he hears you say that?
Urinal cake.
So, Christina, what is your favorite Star Wars game?
My favorite, it's actually split between two of them. My two favorites, one is a game that doesn't exist anymore. I know people are trying to bring it back, which is also incidentally one of my most hated games at this point. And I'll explain why. And that was the first one, the one which I love and hate, is Star Wars Galaxies. It was an MMO, came out probably around 2005, 2004. Incredible MMO. I mean, they went places with this game that no other MMO could even touch. And the reason why I hate it so much is because they literally destroyed it. Like, not once, but twice they wrecked it. Because they had a really interesting combat system. It was the game was challenging, is what everyone liked about it. Then all of a sudden it goes, oh, we're going to make it easy. Arcane combat upgrade. And we kind of limped through it, after like somebody getting shot in the leg. We just kind of like, we can make it. It's okay. And then came out NGE. And the idea of NGE was to dumb it down for console players. And I hate to say it like that, but that's exactly what they did. They dumbed the game down for a PS3 release that never happened. So now we were stuck with this wreck of a game, and it caused the service to shut down, and the game went out because of it. So that's one of my least. My second one, the way I said it was tied. All-time favorite single-player Star Wars game goes to Jedi Academy. I love that game. The battle dynamics, I mean, it's an older game. The graphics are definitely chunky by today's standards. The graphics are horrible by today's standards, but the battle dynamics of that game and the quest lines, everything, and even the character customization for the time that game came out are just insane. So, that's my choice for best.
I love Jedi Academy, but I honestly got to give it to Jedi Outcast above it. And only for this reason. I stated I'm not much of a multiplayer. I prefer being single-player campaign. I will admit, man, I was addicted to going online and getting a lightsaber battles with a bunch of different people on Jedi Outcast, man. I just, especially going on Bespin, man. I'd be standing in Cloud City, like right on a landing platform. People come up challenging me to a lightsaber battle, and I mean, literally same move over and over again. Force choke, force push. Next, I would just throw them off the platforms. I loved it.
Like
game.
A machine. Next.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like a typewriter.
I used to get clans come around and just watch me. They loved what I would do. Come on, force choke, force push. Next.
So, yeah, my favorite Star Wars game, I still contend, is Battlefront 2 for PlayStation 2. This is the game I played the most, probably on the PS2, and this game I just had the most fun with. You know, messing around. I love the game mode where you could just put all the heroes that they had in the game and villains and just made them fight. You could be having Anakin fight Darth Vader. It was just, you know, for a kid, this is the biggest thing. You know, it was like playing with your toys, but on the TV. So that's my favorite game. And just, you know, Galactic Conquest, probably the best thing about Battlefront 2. You know, attacking each planet in each era and just moving on progressively. But now let's get to the bad side. The worst Star Wars games. Now, there are some pretty good Star Wars games, and there's some pretty bad ones. Chris, worst Star Wars game, what is it?
Well, I did already say Bounty Hunter. God, there's so many good ones. I honestly, and again, it's more about me and my personal likes and dislikes than the game itself. But I wasn't a fan of Star Wars Racer. I don't like racing games, even if it's Star Wars. I don't like the repetitiveness of it. And I know I'm going to get blasted by Eric later when he hears this because he's a big racing fan. But, yeah, the pod racing was boring to me. It was cool to watch on episode 1, but to sit there and play on the Nintendo 64 was just monotonous. It was one of the few Star Wars games that I actually took back to, like, at this time, Funko Land and traded in, you know, because it was that boring.
Memories, Funko Land. Before, the worst. Other than what the last gen of Star Wars Galaxies, I would say. You don't have to give it to me. Even though I'm a huge space fan, I love like space fight simulators more than anything. However, Star Wars Starfighter fell flat on its face. That was the one where you flew in the Boo fighter, and the controls were so god awful and clunky, and it was just. I think I said the first time I ever loaded the game up, I think I couldn't even control the ship. Like the ship just started spiraling and and crashing each time. It was just, yeah, Starfighter by far was just that game was just garbage.
I forgot all about that game. Oh my god.
Do you want to change your answer?
No, I'll still stick with the Racer, but that definitely ties up in there. It's very close.
Yeah. I mean, it had the potential to be an awesome game. Like, I will say that. Like, it did have the potential to be an amazing game, but it was horrible execution.
I come from the world, too. I grew up, you know, in a world when we got our first Star Wars flight simulators. It was TIE Fighter and X-Wing. Or TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, you know what I mean? So, quite honestly, I mean, I absolutely am biased against almost any flight simulator Star Wars-wise. Because as old and as Christina called it earlier, chunky as the graphics were, the game just unbeatable in design and story. I mean, so... You know, of course, when Starfighter first came out, Jedi Starfighter first came out, I looked at the back of it and I'm like, this ain't TIE Fighter. It's going to suck.
But do you agree with me? That game had a lot of potential and they just really botched it up bad.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I will say, as on an opposite side of the coin, one of the best flight simulator games on console, and it was kind of arcade-style simulation, was Rogue Squadron.
Oh, yeah.
Rogue Squadron was amazing. I will give it that. Even X-Wing versus TIE Fighter was an amazing one too.
Yeah, that was more PC. They never put that on console. That's why I said as far as console simulator.
Well, even like anything which you guys say on console, most likely it was released for PC. LucasArts was really weird about that, about releasing everything for PC, except for Racer. I think it was one of the few titles that never made it to PC.
As you're playing somebody else.
Well, see, that's the thing. They'll put a lot of things that they put on console on the PC, but a lot of things they put on PC they won't put on console. But bye, Eric. But anyway, Mario, back to your question. What about you? What's your worst game?
It's definitely not the worst game, but to me it was just the most boring game. It's actually it's a newer game, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It's a mobile game. That game to me just bores me. All you do is collect characters from shards and cards, and you just make them fight. Oh, they don't even fight each other. You just tell them to attack, and they attack. And you just level them up, and that's pretty much all you do.
I played that game. I know exactly what you're talking about.
To me, it just has none of the fun of a Star Wars game.
I didn't think we were adding in mobile.
Yeah, because there's some horrible Star Wars mobile games, like that one which is Clash of Clans Star Wars Edition. What the hell is it called? Like Galactic Conquest?
Star Wars Commander.
Yeah, Star Wars Commander. Yeah, it's Clash of Clans Star Wars style. That's another horrendous one.
I don't know. The Force Collection really bothers me too, where they try to turn around in like the Rage of Bahamut like card collector game.
Oh, yeah.
That was repetitive as all hell. I mean, it was cool to collect the cards and all that, but to do what you needed to do to level them up, and it was just ugh.
I will say though, the KOTOR ports to iPhone were on point.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get started on iPhones.
You just mad because you don't have KOTOR.
We were throwing those in there. I don't think. Quite honestly, I don't think there's been a good Star Wars game on any game on phone.
Star Wars Pinball was pretty fun.
Was it? I've never played it. I don't know.
Yeah, Star Wars Pinball is pretty fun, but it's pinball, so.
I'm literally looking at Mario to confirm or deny it.
I mean, it's pinball. It's not. I mean,
it's pinball. You enjoy pinball.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just got a Star Wars theme.
Moving away from the game.
Actually, to say that real quick, no, there was a game which I found. It's not actually put out by LucasArts, so I'm not sure if it actually counts or not. It's more by a third person on Android. There's there's two sides of the game. There's an Imperial side and a X-Wing side where it's a space simulator. It's actually not bad. I have to grab my tablet and to give you the names of it though. If my tablet wants to cooperate today. I just thought about that because I have them. I was playing them because I saw them. Like, it looks kind of interesting.
Well, while you're loading up and looking it up, why don't we let Mario move on because we're running low on time here.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to some movie news that we have. We don't have much actually, but this is a potential spoiler for some people. It's nothing big about the story or anything, but it's just Snoke's. I don't know if you want to call them Royal Guards or Imperial Guards or whatever you want to call them. His Red Guards. The design was leaked off of, I believe, a energy drink or a sort of vitamin drink, and the picture will be posted on the video. So, okay. I'll start off with this. To me, they look pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. They look very similar to like a riot guard type thing, and I can't tell if they have a sword or like a gun. It's kind of hard to tell from the picture, but they look cool. Chris, what do you think?
I'm looking it up as we speak.
It's on the Facebook group. On the Messenger.
Well, I'm pulling it up through Google. I'm Googling it right now. And I see the cans you're talking about. Star Wars Space Punch.
Yeah.
They do. They look like riot gears. I'm almost having flashbacks to like season 2 or 3 of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, right? I'm agreeing there.
It's really interesting. It almost looks like you know what it looks like? It looks like old 80s motorcycle guys that would be like the evil motorcyclists that are dressed all in black with the black shaded helmets.
Mad Max style. It's like Mad Max style, yeah.
Red. I don't like it. Give me back the old Royal Guards, the long robes with the 4 spikes. That just looks a little too generic for me. To be fair.
By the way, there's 2 games. One's called Dark Side, and the other one's called X-Wing Flight.
I've seen X-Wing Flight, but I haven't really played it because of the fact it wasn't LucasArts.
It's not bad though. It's entertaining.
Oh, Christina, what about you? What do you think of the Mad Max guard?
I think I just said it. It looked like something out of Mad Max.
That's why I used it.
As I said, it looks like something out of Mad Max. You know, it looks like you expect him to go, "Oh, what a wonderful day! What a wonderful, wonderful day!" Yeah, it really looks like somebody's gonna flip their helmet up, and either they're gonna be like a stone cold, like, you know, dead face, like totally serious, like military, or it's gonna be somebody who's gonna be absolutely bonkers. I mean, that's the only 2 things I can see is gonna be underneath that helmet. It's either gonna be somebody who's gonna be like straight military, like style, or it's gonna be somebody who's like absolutely crazy.
Well, what if there's no face at all? What if it's like a droid? And that's more like a face plate.
But we'll have to wait and see.
We will see. Okay, so another piece of, well, this isn't movie news. This is more of just canon news. So the Inferno Squadron book, based off the the campaign from Battlefront, the audiobook is going to be narrated by, forgive me, I'm forgetting her name, but the same voice actor who's voicing the main character in the campaign is going to be doing the audiobook for Inferno Squadron. Does this, by any way increase your guys' hype for this book? Are you guys even going to read this book or listen to it?
I'll read the book. I hold no opinion one way or another because I very rarely listen to audiobooks, and if I do, it's because I'm at work and I'm really trying to catch up on something. Like, if I'm reading a canon novel and it's like, I've got to work or I got to work overtime, I'll download the audiobook into my phone to be able to listen to while I'm working to catch up where I left off. But I'm not really an audiobook person. I mean, it's cool that they got the girl to do the reading. It's a nice little tie-in, but I'm gonna read it myself anyway, so it doesn't bother me one way or another.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of audiobooks at all. Like, I'm not a fan of audiobooks at all. I've dealt with him a few times. Eric's back. Eric's back to make more noise. But, yeah, that's Eric making all that noise, by the way. But, no, I'm not a fan of audiobooks like that. Like, it feels like when I read a book, I want to read a book. I don't want to have somebody talk to the book because, I don't know, guarantee I'm not the only person that does this. When I pick up a book, like, right now I'm actually reading through Rogue Squadron. Again, because even though I know it's not canon anymore, but it's still, I love that book. And reading through it, I like to hear my own voices, like, what my brain would create, what I would think the voices would sound like when I'm reading it. Like, even though some of the canon characters, you already know what their voices sounded like. And yeah, in my head, those are the voices when that person makes a line, like, say, Biggs Darklighter. He says something, I hear Biggs Darklighter's voice in my head. And audiobooks ruins that for me. Like, just completely ruin it. So, I don't like it at all.
To be fair, I think that also depends on the person reading the book. Now, I did listen to parts of the audiobook for Lords of the Sith. And I don't know who it was that read the audiobook, did the audio for the audiobook. But he actually did impressions of Vader and the Emperor and Chan Syndulla and the like. And they were pretty spot on. I got to give the devil his due. I mean, was it James Earl Jones's voice exactly? No. But it was a pretty passable imitation, you know what I mean? So I really think it depends on who's reading it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I prefer just reading the book. I prefer the old-fashioned way. I don't know, I just find it more fun to actually get the physical copy of the book and actually read it over hearing someone read the book for me. But yeah, guys, so this is pretty much the show. We talked about video games, Star Wars video games, and pretty much everything we like about Battlefront 2. So now, Chris, tell us where they can find you.
Well, before I tell them where they can find me, let me just bring up one real quick one for everybody here. back on Battlefront II. The one little scene that has caused quite an uproar is that a hologram in the suit of Emperor Palpatine. Yes or no?
Yes. I mean, if he's in the comics, he came out in Shattered Empire, and there has been mentions of him through the canon that that Palpatine did do this. He had Sentinel droids, where he programmed himself into it, and I think it's a good idea. It makes sense. It fits Palpatine's character, but that's my opinion at least.
All right, Christina.
Yes, I agree too. I mean, my brain just went dead. I've had a long day.
To me. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But no, like I said, yeah, it's. I mean, like Mario said, he did program himself into Sentinel droids. So it is a canon. It is canon. So, but we'll see how it plays out. I just wonder how it plays out in the game more than anything else. Though.
I just had a thought.
Uh-oh.
What if that red biker looking guard isn't a red biker guard? What if that is one of the Palpatine Sentinels?
Interesting thought.
Well, anyway, you can find me on realmofthemist.com. You can find me on Facebook at Christopher Michael Stolly. You can find me on Twitter, Chris Wylde77. You can find me on Twitch TV, Chris Wylde, or Wild High 77. You can find me on Breaking the Fourth Wall every Thursday on Radiocast FM and on our YouTube channel, Realm of the Mist. Find me at Raise the Underground on Radiocast FM every Monday.
Christina?
Okay, now it's my turn for the long babble of places you can find me. You can find me on Breaking the Fourth Wall as well every Thursday, 7 to 9. You can also find me on my own show, which is on YouTube, called That Trans Geek Girl. You can also find me on Radiocast FM on my radio show, which is on Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. till midnight, which is Eclectica. And I'm also on Facebook, Christina Tali Warburton. And that's pretty much all I got win for right now.
143.
Not sure if Eric is here, but everyone make sure you guys comment and leave a message for Eric for interrupting the show like 4 times.
Oh, give it to him. Give it to him.
Yeah, just lay it on it. Lay it on him hard.
And well, for me, SifLord310, guys. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Find my YouTube channel, SifLord310, and Instagram, Twitter. I said that before. War of the Stars, as I'm hosting it today. Hopefully next week we get the entire panel back. We're missing our host and our other co-hosts. They were captured, so
we do have infiltration plans in the work to free them all. As you can see the Stormtrooper helmet behind me. That's part of the plan.
Unfortunately, many Mothans died to bring us that information. And don't forget, Sith Lord 310 also does movie reviews for Realm of the Mist Entertainment. So
I just posted a review of The Mummy, so go and see me be disappointed.
Oh God, why? I feel so bad that you actually just watched that movie again.
No. When he sent the message the other day and said that he's ready to review The Mummy, I was like, okay. I figured he'd probably check that one out. What surprised me and made me feel sorry for him was Captain Underpants.
Oh yeah.
You did Captain Underpants? All right, so let's cut this recording, shall we?
Yeah, guys. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure you guys check in next week. We're getting real close to announcing a giveaway. Well, I hope we're giving a giveaway. So make sure you guys check out for that next week. As always, guys, thank you guys for watching, and may the Force be with you.
Hey, are we eligible?
Yeah, right? I want a giveaway. Is it a pop? I want a pop.
Yeah.
You'll see next week.
All right.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.